Hi, this is Nemla Rednam. In this video, I'm going to explain exercise 4.1 from the 4th chapter, Data Handling from NCERT textbook class 8. So here, let's go to the first question. A survey was made to find the type of music that a certain group of young people liked in a city. Adjoining pie chart shows the findings of this survey. So here you can see that in this pie chart, they have given 4 different genres: light music, folk music, classical music and semi-classical music, and they have given the percentages of each one of them depending on the survey that was conducted, right? Now, from this pie chart, answer the following. The first question is, if 20 people liked classical music, how many young people were surveyed? Now, you must have noticed that in this pie chart, you're not given the information of how many people were surveyed, right? So now in this question, in the first question, they're saying if this 10% happens to be 20 people, if this 10% is equal to 20 people, then what is the total number of people, right? So what we are going to do is equate this 20 to 10% of X. We don't know the total number of people that were surveyed. So I'm assuming that total number of people that are surveyed as X, right? So now if I simplify this, you can see that X is equal to 20 into 10, 200, right? So the answer for the first question is 200. 200 people were surveyed, right? In the second question, they're asking which type of music is liked by the maximum number of people. Now here, if you look at the four all the four categories here, you will see that the size of the pie is clearly largest for the light music, right? Or even if you look at the numbers, 40%, 30%, 10%, 20%, you can immediately conclude that light music is most preferred, right? So the answer is light music. Now, in the third question, they're asking if a cassette company were to make 1000 CDs, there's no apostrophe here. If a cassette company were to make 1000 CDs, how many of each type would they make? Now, here they're saying that if I have, if the cassette company has this information available, that 40% are preferring light music, 30% folk, 10% classical and 20% semi-classical and so on, then how would they distribute their CDs into these categories? Clearly, because I know that 40% are going to prefer light music, I'm going to have 40% of these 1000 CDs, 40 by 100 into 1000 as my, which is nothing but 400. Okay, so 400, I'm going to have 400 of my 1000 CDs catered to light music. And similarly, for folk music, I would be having 30 by 100, which is 30% of 1000, which is nothing but 300. So 300 of the CDs would be catering to folk music. Similarly, if you look at 10% of classical, 10% of 1000, you will get 100, right? And finally, 20% is semi-classical. That means 20% of 1000 is nothing but 200. So I would have 200 CDs catering to semi-classical music. So this is the answer for your third question, right? So next, going to the second question. Now here they have given a table. Okay, let us read the question first. A group of 360 people were asked to vote for their favorite season from the 3 seasons: rainy, winter and summer. Okay, so what is this? I have 3 different seasons, and a voting was done for a group of 360 people. Okay, now this group of 360 people have given votes and given their preference. Okay, 90 of them are saying they like summer, they prefer summer. 120 of the votes have gone to rainy season, and 150 of the votes have gone to winter season, right? So now the first question is, which season got the most votes? So clearly you can see 90, 120 and 150. The maximum, the largest number is 150. Therefore, the answer here is winter. So winter season got most of the votes, right? Next, find the central angle of each sector. What are we talking about here? Now see, here he is referring to the pie chart corresponding to this data. Okay, and in the pie chart you have something called the central angle. We have seen this in the last video. So in the previous video we discussed how to find the, whenever you want to draw a pie chart, represent data using a pie chart, you're first going to find out, going to form a table which has the given data, and additionally you will have two more columns. One is fraction of each category compared to the total number, and from that you are going to calculate the central angle, because you need the central angle in order to draw the pie chart, right? So now he is asking us that central angle for each sector. So like I said, how are we going to do? First we need the total of this, which is 360 already given to us. We will find the fractions, okay, and from that fractions we are going to find the angle. So if you're going to have two columns here. One is fraction, okay, and after that you're going to have the central angle, okay. So let me find the fraction here itself, right? Here I know that the total is 360. You can add and see 90 plus 120 is 210, 210 plus 150 is 360. So what is 90 by 360? 90 by 360 is nothing but 1 by 4. Okay, again 120 by 360 is nothing but 1 by 3, and then finally 150 by 360 is nothing but 15 by 36. You can use 3 table here, right? So I have 3 5s and I have 3 12s, right? So these are my 3 fractions. Okay, now here, now that I have the fractions, I can find the central angle, right? How do you find the central angle? That's going to be your fourth column. I'm going to multiply this fraction by 360. Okay, I'm going to get back the same number 90, because your denominator and numerator are nothing but 360. Here you can see that, again if I put 360, I'm going to get 120. Here again I have 360, okay, 12 threes and 3 5s 15, so 150. You'll get back the same numbers because your denominator is the same as the total angle of the circle, 360, okay. Otherwise you would be getting a different number from the given numbers, right? So these are my central angles. So for this particular data, the central angle happens to be the same as the number of votes, and you can find it and you will form this table and present it in the solution, right? So that is your second question. Next you have, right, next you have draw a pie chart to show this information. Now that you have the central angle, you can proceed and draw the pie chart. You need to first draw a circle of any convenient radius, right, using a compass, and then you are going to form these angles using your protractor, and then you will get the all the 3 sectors, all the 3 pies, and you can name them accordingly, right? So let me quickly do that in the Excel sheet. But before going to that, one second, let me write these values here. 90, this happens to be 120, and this happens to be 150, right? So this is your fourth column, okay, right? So here I have the data, right? Let me show the fraction and the central angle here one more time, and then we'll move on to the pie chart, okay? So here you can see that the total is 360, right? And here I'm going to calculate the fraction, right? Divided by the total, which is nothing but 360, okay? And I want the fraction. So here I have the fraction, and I'm going to do that for the next 2 seasons as well. And you can see the total happens to be 1, right? So yes, so this is my fraction. From that I'm going to calculate the angle, right? So I have to do into 360. right? That gives me the angle. It happens to be the same as number of votes, like I explained. So this is my um, angle, right? So this is the central angle, right? So now let's look at the pie chart. So I'm going to select this data and insert a pie chart, right? So this is how it looks, right? And yeah, so here you can clearly see that the 90% or 25%, 90-degree angle goes for summer season. 1/4 of the people prefer summer season, right? And then 33, 120 degrees angle is nothing but 1/3, which is 33% go prefer rainy, and the remaining prefer winter season, right? So this is about the pie chart. So draw a pie chart to show this information, and with this we complete the second question. Next, go back to the uh, third question. Okay, so let's go to the third question. Here I have draw a pie chart showing the following information. The table shows the colors preferred by a group of people. Okay, so now look at this table here. They have given colors blue, green, red and yellow, and the number of people who prefer any of these colors, right? So you can see that 18 people prefer blue, 9 green, 6 red and 3 yellow, and then they have given the total also, which is 36. That means that the total number of people that was surveyed is 36. Now they want us to draw the pie chart. Like I told you earlier as well, what we are going to do here is, first we need the table that gives us the fractions and then the central angle, and from the central angle you can construct the pie chart. Okay, let me copy this information onto an Excel sheet. So here I have the data with me on the Excel sheet. Okay, and for the in the Excel sheet I don't need the other two columns in order to get the pie chart. I can do it directly, but I'm going to show you because you need the other two columns, right, in order to find the central angle. So the total is 36, and this column is going to be the fraction. Okay, so this divided by total, which is 36, right? And I want this to be a fraction, right? And then I'm going to follow the same formula for the other three colors as well, right? So now that I have the fractions, I need the central angle. So what am I going to do? I'm going to multiply this fraction by 360, because 360 is the total angle. Okay. So you can see that half of them prefer blue. That means 180 degrees is for blue, right? And then 90 degrees, which is 1/4. 9 is clearly 1/4 of 36. 1/4 are preferring green, and then 60 and 30, right? So let's look at the pie chart here, right? So this is how the pie chart is going to look like. Okay, so as you can see, half the people are preferring blue color, right? And then I have 1/4 of them are preferring green, and then the gray is for red, which is 17%, and then 8% is for the color yellow. Okay, so this is the pie chart. Now here, while drawing the pie chart, you might as well use the same colors as they have given here. Like for example, you have 90-degree central angle for green, so you can have this pie colored in green and so on, right? So this is about the third question. Okay, that's it in the third question. Next, let's go to the fourth question. The adjoining pie chart gives the marks scored in an examination by a student in Hindi, English, mathematics, social science and science. if the total marks obtained by the student were 540? Answer the following questions. Now here they have asked a few questions regarding which subject score is 105, so on and so forth. But before going into that, if you look at the pie chart, what do you notice? We know that the central angles are given to us, right? Uh, the central angles corresponding to each subject is known to us, and we also know the total number of marks scored. Now that you know the central angle, can you find the individual marks? Because they are asking, all the three questions are regarding the marks in one of these five subjects, right? So you need those marks to answer these questions. So what we are going to do here is we will be having the table that we drew earlier as well, we formed earlier for the for representing the data in pie chart. Only difference is earlier we had the frequencies or the numbers available with us, and from that we found out the central angle, whereas in this question we are going to be doing the reverse. That is, we have the central angle. From the central angle we are going to be finding out the individual marks scored in each subject. Okay, something similar to what we have done with the CDs in the first question, but let me use an Excel sheet for this. Okay, let me copy the data first. So here's our data, the 5 subjects and the central angle of each subject. Okay, now let's look at the first question. In which subject did the student score 105 marks? In order to answer this, first of all, what we will do is, like I said, we know that the total is 540. Okay, now here the total marks is 540. Okay, these are the marks obtained, right? The total is 540. Now first of all, before the marks column, what I need is, I want the fraction. Okay, I want the fraction, that is 70 out of the total angle 360. Okay, I need to know the fraction. So what I am doing here is, I want the fraction here. Okay, similarly I am going to get the fraction of everything, and clearly here I have the 1, right? So these are the fractions corresponding to the central angle. Now what will I do? I have to multiply this fraction by total marks, which is 540. Okay, so I'm going to multiply this by the total marks, which is nothing but 540. So now if I add this, you can see that you got a 540. Okay, so now so here I have 82 and a half, 97 and a half. Okay, you can have it in decimal also. So for the answer for the first question, in which subject did the student get 105 marks? Okay, 105 marks. The answer for that question is Hindi. You can see here it is in Hindi that he has got 105 marks. So here you can say that the answer is Hindi. Let's write the answer here once. I have Hindi here. Okay. Next question is, how many more marks were obtained by the student in maths than in Hindi? So you have to find the difference of the marks obtained in maths and Hindi, right? So if you look at this, what is the marks obtained in maths? The marks obtained in maths is 135, and that in Hindi is 105, right? So I'm going to find the difference. 135, right, minus 105, which is nothing but 30. So the answer is 30 marks, right? Now in the third question, they're asking, examine whether the sum of the marks obtained in social science and mathematics is more than that in science and Hindi. Now I need the sum of the marks in social science and mathematics. Let's go back to the table. Social science and mathematics. What do I have here? social science is 97 and a half, and mathematics is 135, right? So let us add these two, 135 and 97 and a half. Okay, 135 and 97 and a half. What do we get? I have 2 in one's place, 3 here and 2, 232.5. This is the sum of maths and social. Next, science and Hindi. Let us look at the marks in science and Hindi. In science, it is 120, and in Hindi, it is 105. And so the total is going to be 225. Okay. So the total 105 plus 120. Let me write down 120 plus 105, which is nothing but 225. Okay. So now this is 232 and a half or 232.5 is clearly more than 225, right? So the answer to this question is it more? The answer is yes. Yes, the cumulative of social science and maths is more than that of science and Hindi, right? So you're going to write, here you can see, we are going to write the cumulative of social science and maths, which is 232.5, is greater than that of science and Hindi, which is 225. Okay. So that is the fourth question, where they have given the pie chart and they are asking us, questions regarding the data. So first thing we had done for this sum is, first you will look at the individual scores in each subject. How do you do that? From the central angles, you will find the fraction of the angle by dividing it by 360, and from that you are going to get the individual marks, because the total marks is given to us, right? So this is how you are going to first form the table, and then from the table you will be answering the questions they have asked, right? So that is your fourth question. Now let's go to the fifth question. So here they're saying the number of students in a hostel speaking different languages is given below. Display the data in a pie chart. Now here, this is the standard. You have the data given to you, you represent it in a table, find the fraction and then find the central angle, and from that you will get the pie chart. Let me copy the data in the Excel sheet. Before going to that, I just want you to look at this pie chart in the fourth question for a while. Now here, what are we comparing? We are looking at the performance of one particular student in all the subjects. We are comparing how he performs in the subjects. That is, so you have 90 degrees for mathematics. That means he is, among all the subjects that he has attempted and the marks that were awarded to him, he got maximum marks in mathematics. What can you conclude? That he is good at mathematics. Similarly, the least he has scored compared to his own marks in all the 5 subjects is 55 degrees for English. That means that he has to improve a lot in English. Like, why would you need this kind of a comparison of different subjects? That is to say that if you look at a single student itself, you can see that if a student is you can kind of decide on how much more time should be given to, or how much more attention should be paid to one particular subject, going forward in the coming exams, and what are his or her strengths, like of all the marks that he has. This is a very interesting pie chart, because usually what you have is comparison of your marks with other students, right? So there you will see that this is where I stand. You will have ranks or your percentiles where you stand compared to your peers. Now here this is different. Here you're looking at your own performance in different subjects. That means that immediately you can see, even if you look at your own performance in this manner, you will say, oh, I'm doing pretty well in mathematics, whereas I need to put a lot of effort in English going forward. That kind of things can be immediately understood by looking at this pie chart. Okay, so moving on to the fifth question, I'm going to copy this data in an Excel sheet first. So here I have the data with me now. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is find the fraction, right? So this is going to be, first of all, what is the total number here? Total number of students in the hostel is 72. It's not mentioned in the question, but if you add the, oh, it's given in the data, right? The total is 72. Okay, yes. So now I have the total as 72. Let us calculate the fraction. 40 by 72. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same for the rest of the languages. So these are the fractions. Now that I have the fractions with me, what we are going to do is, we are going to find the central angle. You are going to multiply this by 360 because 360 is the total angle in a circle. And these are the corresponding central angles for each of these languages. So now if I look at the pie chart, this is how it is going to look like, right? So this is my pie chart. So I have all the 5 languages here, okay, and you have the corresponding, you can see that 40, it's like more than half of them speak in Hindi. So more than half of this circle is going to represent Hindi, right? And so on. You can look at the percentages here as well. So this is the fifth question where they have asked us the pie chart corresponding to this given data, right? So this is how you're going to look at the data when you want to understand the data in terms of a pie chart. In the next video we will be starting the next section, which is chance and probability.